In today's show, we're looking ahead to Wednesday's action in the NBA. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we're available on all platforms. Earlier today, I did the injury COVID update video. Things have even changed since I did that video with guys coming in and coming out of protocols. So make sure you are staying up to date with stuff over on our Basketball Monster news page. We're going to look at what I'm looking at for Wednesday. Streaming options. I'm not going to do back-to-back streams because there's 13 games on Thursday, and anyone you stream for a back-to-back, you probably can't even use on the Thursday. But just be aware that basically every team is playing on the Thursday. So let's have a look at what we've got coming up on Wednesday here. The first game we take a look at is the Magic and the Hawks. For Orlando, Wendell Carter Jr. amazingly is listed as questionable. So what does this mean? We know Mo Bamba is out. So what does it mean for Chuma Akiki's minutes? Will they start Carter and Lopez together? Will they push Carter to center and start Akiki at the 4? Can Chuma get back to those 30-odd minutes that he's played the last 3 games? That's going to be the question. I think Akiki's still worth having as a stream option, but watching how his role looks in this game is going to be interesting. And then same with Robin Lopez, who's played 33 and 38 minutes the last 2 games. Will they start him with Bumba out? Or will it be Carter? Lopez is an interesting stream option for sure, but we just are really uncertain as to how they're going to run this. Now, of course, if Wendell is out, then Akiki and Lopez get a gigantic boost. And on the other side of things, in Atlanta, there's no Trae Young, there's no Danilo Gallinari, there's no DeAndre Hunter, and there's no Clint Capella. So who's going to be the starting center? Will they throw Onyeka Okongwu in there, second game back? Will it be Gorgie Dieng? I don't really think they can even start John Collins at center because they don't have any threes who can really push up to the 4. With no DeAndre Hunter there, Cam Reddish probably not. Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot has appeared on the injury report with a non-COVID illness also. Okongwu is a really interesting stream, as is Dieng, as is Delon Wright, one of the best streams out there. He will probably start in place of Trae Young, and it boosts the value of Lou Williams, but don't be 100% counting out someone like Sharif Cooper. I hope that we get Sharif Cooper playing.
What's my theme music?
Or even recently signed Lance Stevenson. Not suggesting Stevenson's a 12-team ad, but in an 18-teamer, maybe there's an opportunity here for him. The Cavs and the Celtics. Cleveland, of course, hit by COVID like everyone else. Their big man stocks are in the absolute toilet. No Allen, no Mobley, no Ed Davis now. So are they going to start Kevin Love and Lauri Markkanen? Are they going to go Dean Wade, Love, and Markkanen? Are they going to start the unicorn, the Cornetto, Luke Cornett, who's a guy that can come out and hit 5 threes or have 0 points on 0 of 6 shooting? He can also block some shots. So watching Cornett's role along with Wade and Love and Markkanen is interesting. And then Rick Rubio with Isaac Okoro out. Do they start Rubio? Probably. Or do they start the Discman? C.D. Osman. Does Chetty get a start? Chetty's got some real value here, and Rubio's value should go up as well. For the Celtics, you're going to be shocked, but they have their own COVID issues. But positively, Rob Williams, the Rock DJ, is off the injury report. He missed last game due to personal reasons. He should start over Enes Freedom and be able to get 30 minutes or so here. So he looks like a good option. But there's no Horford, there's no Richardson, there's no Grant Williams, there's no Jabari Parker, no Juancho, no Broderick Thomas, or no Sam Hauser. Peyton Pritchard played over Dennis Schroeder last game. Watching how the Pritchard minutes look in comparison to Schroeder, especially with Richardson out, is going to be really intriguing and hopefully gives us some sort of data point as to what happens with Schroeder as we move forward. And as I said, we're watching Rob Williams because he is going to be back. For the Toronto Raptors, well, there is not a team that is hit more, I don't think, with COVID injuries or COVID illnesses than the Raptors at the moment. So we want to see what happens to the Jedi, OG Anunoby.
But what about scarves?
OG.
Balenciaga
Stop,
ones.
OG. You better stop, OG.
With no Siakam, with no Barnes, with no Van Vliet, with no Trent, with no Achua, with no Banton, with no Flynn. There's opportunities for everyone. Anunoby's going to have a gigantic usage, and I think they're going to have to start Svi Mykhailiuk. They don't have any point guards. Their top 4 point guards in the depth chart are all out. Dragic, Van Vliet, Banton, and Flynn. So maybe recently signed Tremont Waters, Brandon Goodwin, maybe Nick Stauskas, Source Castillo. Maybe he gets an opportunity. But Mykhailiuk's the one I'm looking at immediately. And then you've got Boucher and Watanabe, who are going to have to step up with Achua out. Maybe Ken Birch returns also, but an absolute shit show for the Raptors at the moment. While for the Bulls, they're getting close to getting some guys back. Zach LaVine, Aya Dosunmu, Alize Johnson, Matt Thomas are all doubtful, while Troy Brown is questionable. Alex Caruso has been ruled out, so that gives an opportunity here for Kobe White, who went really, really big last game against the Rockets with some good scoring. He could be an interesting stream with LaVine and Caruso sidelined, and Dosunmu, while Lonzo Ball is putting up top 20 numbers at the moment, and he's got, again, another huge opportunity with no Caruso, no LaVine, to just rack up defensive stats, get assists, score a little bit more as well. Big opportunity for Lonzo to keep going at this high level that he currently is going at. And if he wants to become a champion, he already is a pretty good basketball player, let's be fair. But if he wants to take himself to that next level, maybe he needs to listen to what old LeBron James says. And LeBron says the thing that makes him the best is sleep. That's right, sleep is his superpower. Calm is the #1 app for sleep and meditation. They've teamed up with LeBron James to help you activate the power of sleep. LeBron and Calm know that your mind is like any other muscle in your body, but you don't have to be a world champion to learn how to train it. For LeBron, sleep is a critical part of his mental fitness routine, as it should be. So if you head to calm.com/LockedOnNBA, for a limited time, you'll get 40% off a Calm premium subscription. With Calm, you have access to the nature scenes LeBron loves, and so much more, like sleep stories and meditations, so you can be ready for any challenges that life throws your way. Again, for a limited time, our listeners can join LeBron in using Calm and get a 40% discount on a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/LockedOnNBA. Unlock content to help you focus, ease stress, and sleep better. Get started at calm.com/LockedOnNBA. That's calm.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, the Nuggets and the Thunder. The big stiffy, Bones Highland. Last game was really impressive. Now, he's been very, very up and down, but let's hope that he can maintain a 24, maybe even push to a 25, 26-minute roll. And Monty Morris is also playing really well. He was in my sell high list. Let's see if he gets the sell high slump come his way. But he's been playing really, really well with those absences. Austin Rivers is back, though, for Denver. While for the Thunder, they've moved Darius Baisley into a bench role. He's responding with playing some really good defense. The blocks are up. The rebounds are up. He actually provides streaming value for those defensive categories. Now, he's shooting literally one of the worst shooters in the NBA. And his role is subdued, I guess, coming off the bench. But the defensive stats are nice. I also want to watch Josh Giddey, who has been putting up some really impressive numbers. We need the shooting to get more consistent from the field, from 3 points, from the free throw line. We need all that to improve. But the rebounds, the assists, the steals, all that's really good. And I've been super impressed with Giddey this season, so I'm watching him again. The Rockets and the Bucks. We won't have Jalen Green back or cousin Kevin Porter. They'll likely be back in the next 2 games. So that means the designer Armani Brooks and Gary Bird, Garrison Matthews are going to get another opportunity to be a starting backcourt. Brooks was really good last game. Matthews dropped off somewhat. But both of these guys have at least streaming value for one more game here until we see what happens. And then hopefully we get more minutes out of Josh Christopher, although Silas has gone away from him. But Christian Wood has appeared on the injury report again with that knee tendonitis. We saw him miss a game with that earlier. 2 games, actually. One of those meant a big game for Alperen Şengün, and one of them meant a big game for Daniel Tice. Let's just hope it's always going to be big games for Şengün, but we can't always bank on that. For the Bucks, no Bob Portis, no Giannis Antetokounmpo, but in good news, Chris Middleton will return. And Wes Matthews is off the injury report as well. So we're watching for DeMarcus Cousins. Does he get another start? Probably does. And then what does Jordan Nwora do? Because he played 38 and 42 minutes the last 2 games without Rodney Hood and without Middleton. But with Middleton back, and there was no Drew Holiday last game as well, does Nwora go back into a 20-minute role? Does he stay at 30? Is he worth a stream? I think we'll find better streamers out there than Nwora, but watching his minutes will be interesting. And then we go to the Clippers and the Kings. Paul George did return last game, but now there's still a question mark over whether he plays because he did cop some knocks and his elbow was a little bit sore. So we hope that he's ready to go. But if he is out, it's Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard. They're going to be fighting over rotation roles as we move forward. But they both did start last game with George back and Morris out. They brought Batum off the bench so they could start Kennard and Mann together. So watching how those two play, I think is really interesting, as well as the status of Isaiah Hartenstein, who's questionable after missing last game. Serge Ibaka stepped into his role, and they're not playing really any small ball at the moment. So if Hartenstein is back, he should be able to get 20-plus minutes. While for the Kings, we know they've got a bunch of COVID absences. Don't expect any of their guys back. But maybe Rashawn Holmes plays, maybe. But I don't care because Chimezie, well, actually, that's not true. I do care because I like Holmes and I've got him on fantasy teams. But I'm more interested here to see what Chimezie Metu can do to establish himself as a long-term starter. I don't know that he's done it yet, but I think he's getting pretty close. So watching him have another good game would be great. And then the Tyrese Halliburton sell-high window is still open. Until Fox and Mitchell return, it's open. Now, will they just say, well, Halliburton's been doing so well running things, we're going to play Fox off ball? I highly doubt they do that. So that is going to reduce Halliburton's value. So just watching how he does here again. Double-digit assists in 3 straight games for Tyrese. He's only a sell high if you get like a top 20 guy back, but I would inquire about doing that. I would also be inquiring about BetOnline because it's the number one spot to place bets for this upcoming season. As football marches towards the playoffs, BetOnline is your number one spot for all your football action, props, odds, lines, contests, and all other sports as well. So head to the website or use your mobile device and sign up using the promo code LOCKEDON to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. From basketball, football, the NHL, boxing, UFC, or right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait and take advantage of all of your favorite, or all of the amazing offers actually, for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports, so don't wait to take advantage of all of the amazing offers available. BetOnline is where the game starts. And then when you're getting ready for Christmas, you're at the gym, you're pumping iron, you're dealing with the stressful environment that is the world at the moment. Built Bar is there for you. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. It tastes like a candy bar, but it's not because it's delicious. Well, actually, that's not true. It is delicious, but it is low in fat, low in carbs, low in sugar, low in calories, but high in protein, and most importantly, high in absolute deliciousness, whether it's cookies and cream or coconut or raspberry or orange or mint brownie or one of the special edition flavors. These are like, exclusive sneaker drops getting these special edition flavors from Built. Built Bar has everything that you need. So head to built.com, use the code LOCKED15, that's LOCKED15, and get 15% off your Built Bar order. Built Bar, built different. Let's look at some stream options now. As I said, the Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back, there's just so many teams playing Thursday that you probably don't even have use for that guy. But have a look to see the players like a Delon Wright, for example, really good streamers across both of those days. But nearly every team plays on Thursday, so that's important to note. We're looking at options for Wednesday here. Delon Wright, Yuta Watanabe, Jeff Green, Gorgie Jeng and Onyeka Okongwu in Atlanta. Maybe wait to see which one gets the nod as the starter. Svi Mykhailiuk, Kobe White, Chetty Osman, Javonte Green, Terrence Mann. And then in deeper leagues, a lot of the same names because they're not rostered in many spots, but Watanabe, Jeff Green, Jeng, Okongwu, Mykhailiuk, Kobe White, Green, Cam Reddish, Ennis Freedom, Dean Wade. Maybe throw Luke Cornett in there as well. Maybe one of the point guards, like a Tremont Waters or a Brandon Goodwin as well. Some options there. And then for points leagues, these guys still rostered in under 50% of leagues. Chimezie Metu, Kevin Huerter, Delon Wright, Watanabe, Grayson Allen, the designer Armani Brooks, Mykhailiuk, Osman, Reddish, and Kobe White. Guys, that will do it for us here today. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. Don't forget to check out the Locked On Bets podcast, wherever you get podcasts, with Lee Sterling and your boy Q providing betting tips right across all sports. And if you are here on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, flick the little notification bell. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.